So first off, and I know it's a while since we started this process, but it'd be good just if you could maybe explain when you decided that you wanted to get advice on your UK pension and whether you should bring it into Australia. Maybe just give me a little bit of background on what triggered that and how you ended up getting in touch with me. And
I suppose when I first came here, I didn't have to think too much about it just because of my age at the time. But as I approached and started getting closer towards being 55, I'd spoken to my bank and they'd said they were open to give me some advice. But then what really sort of triggered it was just by a conversation I had with Grant, who was a customer of mine. And he's a superannuation expert over here. And he sort of said, look, you know, when you're dealing with the UK pension, it's different laws, different tax laws, different government laws. You need somebody who specialises in that department in UK pensions. An Australian superannuation person wouldn't be able to do that. So he said, I've got conferences coming up. He said he was going away to a conference, I think it was in Sydney. And he said, what I'll do is, when I get back, I'll put you in touch with somebody.
How would you describe the advice process? So obviously we spent a lot of time talking. We had several calls, yourself, the specialists in the UK, and we really kind of peeled back the layers and got into the detail of the situation to be able to provide the advice. How would you describe your experience of the advice process?
Oh, look, I mean, again, it's when you don't know anything about this. This was a lot more complicated than I ever thought it would be, and that's naivety on my part of not understanding how these things work. So a lot of it is complicated when you don't understand it. But I think obviously where you obviously excel in your profession is making it, how do I say, legible and understandable to me, to someone who doesn't understand what all this jargon means. People buy from people, they buy from people they like. And I suppose if I look at confidence in people, and I think that tells you a lot about how that they obviously know their product, they obviously know what they're talking about, and I'm a pretty good judge of knowing that how people converse is a good sign as to how they come across. And I was pretty sure from the start, Jason, after the first few conversations, I thought, yeah, you know, the guy knows what he's doing, obviously knows what he's doing, he's obviously an expert in his field, and I was fairly confident. You hope, it's a big call at the end of the day to put this trust in someone who you've never met, a company you know nothing about, that you're going to trust these people with your future in essence. But you know, I'm pretty certain that we made the right choice.
Finally, in terms of value, what part of the whole kind of advice journey to date have you found most valuable, and what would you say to other people out there who are maybe doing a bit of research and are looking to engage with someone to give them advice on their UK pensions to bring it into Australia?
I remember one of the conversations we had was around you need, it's like anything, you're putting your trust in someone. You need to do, I say need to do research. I didn't do any research. I was lucky that I met somebody who was an expertise in that field who could recommend somebody by referral. But because of, you mentioned that there's that many scams and that going on now, there's that many people out there looking to take advantage of people who are maybe a bit more fickle-minded and take advantage of people in you know, I think you mentioned in China and in Middle East that there's companies out there now who are looking to take advantage of people's situations, and this is a big deal for a lot of people. And I've spoke to a couple of people and said, English people I've met through my job, and they said, oh God, we've got to think about that in a few years' time and what have you. And I said, look, there's a lot to be said, is do your homework, find yourselves a reputable company, because doing this, depending on who your pension's with, you mentioned that Carlsberg, you know, obviously they're a massive global company. They weren't probably the easiest to deal with. They weren't going to part with that money easily. They wanted to make sure that before Karl Bennet took that money out of the UK, that he was being properly advised and it was going the right way, and that I was doing it for the right reasons.